Hello and welcome to the Cardboard Bunker. My name is Pieburn and today we are back in Space Engineers doing some more experimentation on the plop drill. As you can see, it's working down there quite well. I fiddled with the speed, that's the word I was looking for, the speed at which this would go down, and it's very slow. As we go back in and the noise comes up, it's going down at 0.01 meters per second, and this is turning at a rate of, I think it's 0.75 rotations per minute. So it does go around sort of slow, sort of quick, but that gives the pistons enough time so I can just set it and forget it. You can also see over here I've worked on the pylon, and that is a separate blueprint, and I've also added some thrusters to this so we can move it. This was just a test to see if I could build something with as little components as possible without it being a whole nother ship. Unfortunately, it needs to be a whole nother ship. And then if you think about the amount of resources we've used to create this, it's not quite worth having it. We could have it either as its own little ship, in which case we may as well just build a miner, or we need to shrink it down a lot more, but then it becomes difficult to maneuver into position. So fiddled and fiddled, made a few holes, tested out the idea, and I've come to the realization that we just really need to, or I really need to, redesign this beautiful blue. Where's he gone? Oh, I was here before. I've flown to the wrong side. That was a beautiful reveal right there, wasn't it? So professional. Where is he? Oh no, I've lost it. Oh, it's right there. This beautiful blue bastard here. I think we need to just increase the size of this thing, and then I'm going to add a new mod, and that's the drill and fill system. I've resisted doing it, but I think it will be much better, so we don't have to have a huge bank of this. We don't have to employ the ship to actually fly through. We can fly up to an asteroid, get the drill and fill into position using a turret, which is my idea for today, and we're going to experiment with, and then getting that working. So I think using a combination of this and this design, so the plop drill layout, and then this design for the Cookie Monster, we will be able to come up with a much better plan. So you can hear this one going crazy. I've just plopped it in. I've just pasted it in the world from a blueprint. I had to weld a few bits up because the blueprint was out of date. I should have blueprinted it earlier. I do have a copy of this, so that's what we're going to work on today. And I'm going to build it from the side here, and it's mainly going to be light armor. So we'll just build that into the asteroid and just drag it out a long way. So the idea is for us to have somewhere stationary for us to build from, and then we'll use this as a starting point with a connector. Bring up our toolbar. Number 5, not connector, conveyor junction, that's the word I was looking for here. Then we want to come in to another junction for the center, to this side, and another junction. From this we will build backwards with our containers, and we want to have at least 5 containers, because we want this thing to just come back with as much as possible. So I've got 5 containers there. I'm not going to worry too much about putting the basic refineries on the side. I don't think we need that for this one. It's probably a little bit too much power used. We just want storage. So I think 5 will be enough. We could probably actually get away with another 2 more. I'm thinking of the size of the hangar bay underneath. Okay, so it's a fairly long ship. We need to make sure we have enough space for everything else that we need. How are we going to do... Okay, so the turret is going to come out the front. That's something I definitely did settle on. And then the fifth one will be the conveyor junction. From there we will use an advanced rotor because we want to put another junction on the front here. But we also want to make sure that we can turn upwards and down. So we've got, what would that be called? Well, that's one rotational axis. We need a second axis. So for that one we will need another advanced rotor. Whoop, we want number 4. And then we'll use conveyors. There's a corner. We want to come forward one more and another corner. And we'll put another junction in the middle. And these are just here for spacing. And we come forward one more. And then we need to put an advanced rotor, but this is where it gets tricky. So we need to put the advanced rotor in there, but we also want to get rid of that, because that will, the advanced rotor head. How am I going to do this? Oh, if anyone has any suggestions as to how we can actually link these back up, for now I'm just going to leave it as a dummy rotor. I'm trying to remember exactly how I used to do this back in the day. I'm pretty sure I used to use a rotor head on the end of that conveyor, that tube there, then put it in, but it's always going to need, it's always going to have that much space. So let me see if I can, we'll put a, do we have a button panel on this thing? No, we don't. Okay, so we'll get a button panel. Done. Okay, rotor lock, no. We don't want to detach. What we want to do is do the displacement as much as possible, no, as little as possible. I'm going to figure this out. And then we want to put here the advanced rotor head. Flying badly. Back in here, we'll go to advanced rotor 2. We will attach. And then we'll put this displacement back to 0. Okay, so that should move up and down. So advanced rotor 2, we're going to change the name. Missing. We're going to change the name to dummy. Advanced rotor, and then we're going to put main. Advanced rotor. We want to set the limit, sorry, I forgot to do a setting there. Dummy advanced rotor. We want to make sure that this has 0 braking torque. That's all I wanted to do. We want to turn it off. So everything should come through this one anyway. So that one, we're not going to touch that one at all. So this basically gives us one axis of turn. around that way. And then, sorry for the dizziness, this one gives us the other axis of turn. So we can point this contraption here in any direction, north and south. So I'm going to keep a limit. We want to make it 90 degrees is the upper limit, and the lower limit is minus 90 or 270. So go back in here, go back into the main advanced rotor. We want to make the lower limit and the upper limit of just 90. Now in the back here I'm going to put a small gyroscope, because this will be essentially a turret. So gyro, we'll go in there, and then on the top here we will put in a remote control block. From there we want to add some more conveyors. Actually, I think we need to put a tube and then a conveyor, if I remember this correctly. And then we'll go back in here and type in the nanobot. No, do I not have them installed? Let's try drill. Yes, I do. Actually, we don't even need that. We can do it this way. Now again, I know this is going to lag my game out probably even more than normal when I get it back in the Janus world itself, but I think it's necessary. Alright, so for now we need to add some power, and I just realized why I put them this way, because we are going to add even more. Right, so that's 12. Here will be the main controls area, and we'll probably put our cockpit and everything up on top of these. Yeah, I think we will. We'll put them all on top. So for now, let's just chuck in a cockpit for the sake of driving. Okay, we'll just jump in here. Oh no, we need power, So one of the fun ways I like to add power to ships, especially these kind of ships, is to use small reactors, just because they take up less space. And speaking of less space, we also have new hydrogen tanks, which I would like to take advantage of in this one too. So let's, what was I looking for? Reactors. Probably think I'm putting too many reactors on this thing, but I can tell you it's necessary. The amount of power that this is going to need, we need to have this many reactors. Probably even need to really have more than that. What I'm also going to add down here will be small cargo containers instead of conveyor junctions. So we've got that little bit of extra storage just so we can get our uranium down and into there, and just for an added amount of redundancy we'll add those there. More than likely we'll probably even add a couple more reactors there later on, but that will do for now, as this is creative. And I want to see if I can get control of that remote control block over there. Here she is. Just control. What I need to do is possibly add a camera to this thing. Give me something to look at. I hate putting these things in, I can never get it right. So I think I need to have that bar thingy over the top, just back that way, and we'll have a look through in a second and see if that's right. Let's put it under 8. So I can't figure out how to turn that now. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on that one. So I'm going to call a little bit of defeat on this. I can't figure out how. I've got to go back and watch some more tutorials. It's been a very, very, very long time since I've actually made my own turrets. There's a lot of modded turrets out there that do a wonderful job. I wanted to try and build this one because I want to see. Actually, let's get rid of that gyroscope. Put this one underneath. I wanted to see exactly what I could do. I have plans to do something similar with large grid missile launchers as turrets on the rear and possibly even the front of the Janus itself. So this gives you an idea of what we're trying to do here. I will put, just for now, some bracing here, some, again, redundancy. It's my favorite word when I build these things. So we've got plenty of space for things to move around, and we've got some extra holding structural support. Yes, in Space Engineers, extra holding. So I'm trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to get this to work. But we'll figure that out later. So you've got the idea for the front. So we'll do a little bit more design on this section here, and in this section I want to put in some H2O2 generators. I also want to make sure, yep, that we have the hydrogen and oxygen tanks, and then we'll look at that. Okay, making sure that's the way we want it. 2, 3 of those. Then we'll put an oxygen tank. No, 7. We'll put an oxygen tank in the back here and another one here. Yes. Now I know they're not directly connected through there, but we will be connecting them this way. Because, well, let's turn it around. Let's try and make it a little bit pleasant to look at. So that's where the most of the thruster pack will be, in the back there. We really only want the hydrogen to help push us forward. We still have to fit in here the jump drives. Although, do we really need? Yeah, well, we kind of do. Just makes the journey a little bit quicker. But we need hydrogen tanks. Small hydrogen tanks. Now these small ones, these new ones are fantastic, but they only have openings. Where are we here? Sorry, I'm trying to think and place at the same time. It's not a good idea. So they only have an opening on the front and on the back. So we could spread them out like this and use the gaps inside for other things such as I don't know. Actually, if we put them all like this, then that way we can use the existing conveyor system as well as adding another conveyor line along here, just to make sure they all get fed, which is what we need. Yeah. Probably too many conveyor junctions for something like this, but I think it's actually, no, we do need those. Make sure they're all fed properly and together. Okay. We're going to have to do some greebling and stuff on this as well, and this will come up. This whole section here will all basically be light armor blocks, so we can go over here just to give ourselves a base to work from. Do this. And then we can use the underside for things like you could even put in a sneaky No. Let's No, I don't want a tank in there at all. Well, we're going to need gyroscopes. So I may as well put a few of those in here. Too many. So the difference between building something in creative and building something in survival is you get a lot more of a feel for what is going to happen in a ship if you do it in survival, because it's a lot slower. You can't just sort of go, yep, here's 500 blocks down. And it does make a big difference for a ship. So here I'm going to use blaster blocks to give ourselves a bit of a space. Where are they? I'm staring right at them, aren't I? There they are. This is kind of like the ribbing that we have, the extra armor that we have inside the Janus itself. Let's turn it around. But this is just to protect the ship from the mining apparatus. If we lose the mining apparatus, that won't be so bad. I think we can get rid of those two and add conveyor junctions. That way we can stick things to them, such as more blaster blocks. And we want to have the same two more up here. That should give us some protection from this arm swinging too far up or down. Yeah, now that we have an upper and lower limit, I think we're going to need to change that to be more of a 45 to 45. So that'll give us a 90-degree range. So let me just Alt tab quickly here. So if we have it at 45, it would be this sort of angle. We can probably bring it closer, but I'm kind of worried that this remote control here would get in the way, and this gyro when it turns down. If I can even get this to work. I have a feeling I might need to do a script, but I'm going to leave that to you guys to help me out, as also my research. I'm going to do a bit of YouTube researching just to remember how to build a controllable turret. For now, I think we've got a very good baseline for a ship. We do need thrust, and seeing as though this is meant to go, way, there we go, meant to go into atmosphere as well as out of atmosphere, I'm going to use both ion thrusters as well as normal thrusters. So in the back I might be able to squeeze these in, two large ions to push it forward. I'm going to do the same trick with the front that I did before in the Cookie Monster. Yes, that should be enough. It's very fragile, this thing. I have a feeling I'm going to add more thrusters around the sides here later on as well. So we need to make sure we have directional thrusters as well. That gives us 6 in every direction. And we have space under here for something, I don't know. Maybe we can put some batteries in there or something. So it's starting to look more and more like a ship. Although, come to think about it, so that's 4 blocks. We don't want to come out here 4 blocks, but we may need to for the sake of power efficiency with regard to not power efficiency, thrust efficiency with regard to the thrusters. Might even get rid of these large thrusters and put something small in there. But the whole idea of this is this ship is meant to just cruise out, pull up to a planet, aim the turret, mine whatever's they need, and then come back. So just as a proof of concept, we'll chuck in the cockpit again. We can actually just use this control seat, and then we'll disconnect this. Oh, we need downward thrust. We're in space, we need to push it ourselves in all of the cardinal directions, all 6 directions. So how about we just, for now, chuck it along here. So what I'm really going for here is a proof of concept. Obviously I've still got some lessons to learn, especially with remote control turrets, and yeah, I've got a lot to learn actually with the remote control turrets. Any help you guys want to give me, I'm quite happy to accept it. If you guys have had any experiences in the past that would help, that would be fantastic. Please put it in the comment section below. You can jump onto the Discord and let me know there. So what I'll do is I will disconnect this just to make it official. I'll leave that there for now. We need to think of another name for this. We can't call it the Cookie Monster. We've already got a Cookie Monster over there. We need another new name for this. Happy for anyone to pass on the suggestions, but for now we're going to just call this Static Grid. Nah. Edit. Rename. We're just going to call this BAD Turret Minor Test Mark 1. So when we actually go into the world and we have everything in there, we'll get rid of the bad, because the BAD is already part of the naming convention anyway. So I'll leave it there, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Please follow me on the socials, join the Discord, like and comment and subscribe. As always, please keep safe. My best wishes to all of your loved ones during these trying times. I hope everyone is doing well, and I will see you all in the next one. Please, most importantly, have fun. Bye.